Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to watch this webinar recording that we have for you today. My name is Rachel Kessel, and I'm a Community Engagement Specialist with Church World Service. We are going to talk about the Church World Service Kits program today. So I have my colleagues Jessica Christensen and David Costello with me as well, who will be speaking here shortly. And we have Heather Wilson running the background for us. So thanks, Heather, for that. We wanted to kick off with a video here and that explains a little bit more about the Church World Service Kits program.
CWS Kits and Blankets are a really important part of the mission of Church World Service. It's an opportunity to actually build bridges in a very interesting way between local communities and people in need and local congregations. So Church World Service Kits include a lot of different things and meet a lot of different needs. So for example, there's the hygiene kit, there's the school kit, there's the emergency cleanup buckets. We found that when people are in need, this is one of the things they don't have.
Kits and blankets are so vital to the work of CWS that they're an extension of our ministry. We can't always be in all those places where people are welcomed. And so the kits are ways for people in faith communities to say, hey, I see you, I welcome you, and I support you.
If we get a request in, typically the turnaround on the buckets is anywhere from like 3 to 5 days. So it is a relatively small window. I think CWS prides itself on being effective and efficient in, getting those resources to where they're needed very quickly. It's one aspect of our response after a disaster in those communities.
This is an ongoing program year-round, and so we receive things all the time. And the reason it's important to have it on hand all the time is because you never know when a disaster is going to happen or anything that affects people. And we want to be able to respond quickly and efficiently.
If I were to talk to a survivor about the kits, I think the biggest thing that I would like them to know is that these kits are put together by folks from all walks of life.
It takes so many hands to make kits, quite literally physically make the kits, as well as just put together all the different things that we do, the events that are hosted, everything that happens, everything that's involved.
And the kits really are a representation of love, solidarity, and hope.
It just takes one donor or volunteer to make a difference. It takes one pack to help someone go to school. It takes one blanket to provide a mother or a father some comfort for their child.
So if people are thinking, they're sitting on the sideline and thinking, how can I help? How can I make a difference in this world? Well, I would challenge you to say, find a place where you can multiply your voice. And I think through Church World Service, everyone can make a difference in a meaningful way.
So we heard the video sharing a little bit about what the CWS Kids program is, but just to kind of give a little bit more of an idea, it's helps respond to those facing poverty, disaster, and displacement in a tangible and meaningful way. So here is a picture of some of an example of how many kits and blankets were shared in the last calendar year. So just really a tremendous amount of help. And I'll talk a little bit more here about the types of kits. They were mentioned, but we do have the school kit here, the CWS hygiene kit, a welcome backpack for newcomers, period pack, and the emergency cleanup bucket. So Jessica will talk a little bit more about this process here in a minute, but an option here. But in terms of how do you support the CWS Kits program? So you can gather or order materials from CWS. So you can ask individuals in your congregation and your community and your personal lives to help donate these materials. And there is a list on the website. You can go to cwskits.org and it will share with you the items that are needed for each of these kits. So you can ask for donations for those, or you can order them directly through Church World Service, which again, Jess will talk about that in a minute. And then host a packing party. So have maybe this is something you do as a congregation, or maybe for your birthday this year, you see this as an opportunity to give back and you ask your friends and family to come host an event for you and help pack the period packs or the hygiene kits or whatever it is that you're doing. And then you can either ship these kits or drop them off at a Kits Depot, which the Kits Depot locations are listed on the website as well. So I did want to share that currently there is a great need, and because of that, our kits inventory for several of the kits is very low or completely depleted even. So don't have welcome backpacks or period packs, and the emergency cleanup bucket supply is really low. So there's especially a need for those. So if you're considering supporting this program in one way, we would ask to maybe look into those 3 options as a priority over some of the others. And at this time, I will pass it on to Jessica, who's going to talk a little bit about our party packs.
All right. Thank you so much, Rachel. So as she was saying, I was going to talk a bit about the party packs. The nice thing about the party packs is you don't have to go on the hunt for the different materials. You don't have to go around the community looking for all of them. Oftentimes people might do a kit packing event in conjunction with something else, and it's hard to find all of these things. The tricky bit is we only have the hygiene and the period packs that you can order from our website, which we will include the link to where they are as a part of this, as they're a little bit tricky to find, the party packs. They are on the main part of CWSKits.org. And if you go to step number 1, they're listed under there, but we'll also include the link. As we said, with the party packs, you get all of the materials that you need sent to you directly in 1 box or 2 boxes, however much you order. It's a lot more cost effective since we have gone and found the suppliers that are supplying things in bulk. So you're getting the best price. It also includes the shipping to both get here and to send back to the warehouse. So you do need to find sponsors for the materials, unless you have somebody who just wants to order it and buy the materials themselves. If you're hosting your own birthday party, you want people to chip in. But finding sponsors can be a good way to be able to host some of these events. As Rachel was talking about, we do have lower inventory on things as we have another storm season approaching. You know, summer turns into, oh, okay, we've got the wildfires, we've got hurricanes, we've got the tornadoes, we have all of these things where it's, yeah, we're going to need those. So we need to bulk up for another year. So yeah, just need all of those types of things. If we go to the next slide, did want to talk a bit about setting up and hosting an event. So oftentimes we're like, okay, I get all of these things, but what are the logistics? How do I go about actually hosting this event? Here on the right was an event I attended. They do a walk to end world hunger, but they also had a retirement center that wanted to join in, but they maybe couldn't walk as well. So they decided to add this event along with it. So that even if you couldn't walk the entire walk to end world hunger, you could come and help put together the kits. So usually you just need a long table of some sort. You just separate the supplies into, you know, here's our, if you're doing the hygiene kits, you have your bars of soap, you have your towels, you have your things, and you just have people grab a bag and go down the line and just grab, assembly line style, just grab all the things, zip it closed, flatten the air out, and put it back in the box at the end. You know, it's fairly self-explanatory, so you don't usually need to have a long, windy explanation of, okay, here's what we need. We need all of these things. Make sure this is how you do it, pack it in. Usually it's just go along, grab the things, put them in the bag, seal it, we're good to go. So with the period packs, there are a few items where you might need multiples of something. So usually the easiest thing to do is just put a sign on the table on saying, grab 5, grab 1, grab so many things. Usually people don't even need an explanation. If they just walk in and see the table, they're like, oh, okay, I can do this, and just go. So it's fairly easy to host a kit event. but the payoffs are so great. So I'm going to hand it off to David. He's going to talk about a few other ways to kind of fund these opportunities. So.
Great. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, there are a number of ways that one can help raise funds to do this. We do realize that things like this, particularly the period packs, can be quite expensive, and the disaster buckets. So want to give you opportunities to find and let you know what's out there to help you raise some funds with that. So we have here on the screen two opportunities. One is the UCC matching grant. So if you are a congregation of the United Church of Christ, they have been providing a $250 matching grant that has been very helpful for congregations to supplement what they've been raising for their period pack and other kit events. So I would encourage you to check that out. Again, if you're a United Church of Christ congregation, we do know that at least for now that will be good through this year, 2024. Know that they will be deciding for future years, or how long that will go. But we appreciate the United Church of Christ in providing that opportunity for their congregations to help leverage more funding than what they already have to do those type of events. Would also encourage you, if you are familiar with Thrivent, if you're a Thrivent member, they actually have through their action teams, opportunities for 2 times per calendar year that you can reach out and do some project funds. Now, I do believe those are $250 instead of $200. So, but either way, they are great. With those, you get a private t-shirt, and you get some cool stuff to go along with that. I know personally I've seen that put into action in some really cool ways, and we've had several of our Thrivent members to reach out and utilize those funds too through the action team. So we encourage you to do that as well. There are other clever ways of doing it too that I've seen. I've been a part of gatherings, whether it be youth gatherings or women's ministry gatherings, where they've had these events and then they've added it to maybe their registration fee, like give a donation to help provide for kits. And so there's that way of doing it. And even through CWS, you have opportunities. You can create your own fundraising pages, which harnesses the power of social media. So I would encourage you to do that if you wanted to do, again, if it's for your birthday or whatever special event you're looking to do this for. There are ways that we have through CWS and through other mechanisms that we'll be glad to help you utilize those. And again, just want to promote what we know that's already out there, and we appreciate you doing this. And again, for our specifically for the ones we have mentioned here through Thrivent and the UCC, how they've helped promote these opportunities.
Thank you, David and Jess. So since this is a recorded webinar, there's not a chance for live questions, but we want you to know that we would love to hear your questions and give you some answers. So you can send any questions you have about the kids program, about anything we talked about today, or anything that might have popped in your head, to kits@cwsglobal.org. If you are an existing partner of Church World Service and know who your specific community engagement specialist is, you can also reach out to them directly. But if you're unsure, then go ahead and send your questions to this email, and we'll get back with you as soon as possible. So thank you for your tremendous support of Church World Service. Thank you for your compassionate action, and thank you for joining us for this webinar. We are grateful for your partnership and know that we can do in partnership what none of us could hope to do alone. So thank you for your partnership.